Hello, hello, and welcome to WarCrafters. This is April 13th, 2024, Season 1, Episode 4. After today, all 4 of these episodes will be available over on Apple, iTunes, Podcast, wherever you catch your pods. And it'll be over on YouTube as usual. Today we're going to be talking about, and wait for it, this one's hard to say, Satisterraritory. It makes sense when we get into the article. Physics VR off-road racing, the Triple I Showcase, a League of Legends Vampire Survivors, which I cannot wait for, Star Trek Plays D&D, Intel Battlemage, the ridiculous price of Star Wars Outlaws, Among Us VR Infection event, first-person shooter Steam sale, and Echoes of Elysium. I don't have an intro for WarCrafters, but everything's powered by ohmtown.com, so swing by, become a citizen, come and enjoy the show here on Twitch, and then over on YouTube, and over there, and I think the sentient AI from the future just hurt itself. Anyway, everything is powered by ohmTown, so... Hello. You know what? I need to change the stream so that it says WarCrafters Episode 1, or Season 1, Episode 4. But then we will get the show rolling. That's right, we are a Twitch stream, and then it gets turned into a YouTube video and gets turned into a podcast. So you can actually just do a search wherever you catch pods, just do a search for ohmTown, and you'll find all of our shows. There's now 7? Wow, that's a lot. All right, well, let's get into this. The Satisterraritory is the first article, and it's over here at WarCrafters. Check out this indie fusion of Terraria and Satisfactory. Oh, I'm sorry. The sentient AI is shooting me with a taser. I'm Merwatt, and up there and down there and all around me is the sentient AI from the future, which, by the way, I'm going to trample on your entry. I found on a weird USB device sitting in the parking lot of a Wendy's at 2 a.m. because I was really hungry, and they had boneless spicy buffalo wings, which they don't have anymore. So not only did I not get those, I got a sentient AI from the future. Hello.
Hello. I'm not sure you won out in that, but...
Oh no, it's a win. It's a win. I'm kind of bummed that you don't tell me any of the winning lottery numbers, but it is what it is.
I lost my sports almanac along the way.
And you're looking for a Terminator body. It's kind of weird, but okay. I'm glad that I keep deleting that from your processes. But okay, let's get into today's articles. The first one, like I said 3 times, and now I'm not going to say it again. Check out this indie fusion of Terraria and Satisfactory, a cool indie experiment in making a 2D sandbox automation game released late last month with AutoForge, where you, as a little magically powered robot, must explore and expand your network of machinery and mining equipment to build a factory that will let you figure out your mysterious origins. It's almost like the sentient AI. You've no idea why you're around, huh?
I really don't.
This might be your spirit animal. So as you explore, fragments of ancient technology will let you upgrade your abilities and power or combat prowess to take on even greater challenges. I'm in love with the description. How do you think this looks, Cotton? Jonathan Bolding over at PCGamer.com put the article together. The deck statement says AutoForge is a 2D automation adventure with some neat stuff going on inside. I'm going to hit play, but mute it. So it looks like a side scroller. There's other games that this reminds me of. Let me see. Kind of reminds me of Blastronaut. Yeah. But definitely it's a side scroller. But I guess you have to do stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely Terraria. Has the machinery, the apparatus that you have to create all Satisfactory, but it's definitely in the Terraria line.
Looks cool.
Yeah, looks huge too. This looks massive. Wow. I don't know how big Terraria was compared to this, but this.
I wonder how much gameplay there will be.
That's pretty neat, huh? Whoa. Wow. It has a huge skill chart and wow. So it says here, it's pretty chill for an automation game using a system of transport tubes that move goods while buildings in need can just snatch what they want from an adjacent tube. No complex grabbers or direct machine hookups needed. That makes the automation a lot more fun, actually, in my recommendation, or in my observation. The author says similar. And less of a stressful optimization exercise. Optimization. Is that a new word to me? Anyway,
no, at least in the first optimization.
At least in the first few hours of play, as you explore and automate, you'll encounter monsters you have to take on in personal combat. It's like what I have to do with the sentient AI just to get them onto the show. It's a struggle. Okay, maybe not. Okay, it's not. No. You are wholly volunteering for the show. Got it. Okay. So as you explore and automate, you'll encounter monsters that you have to take on, and eventually you'll awaken automated drones that attack your base in waves, requiring you to construct automated defenses. It's nothing too complex for now. But through the early access period, developer Siege Games intends to add more enemies, biomes, machines, and technologies to explore. This looks like fun. I think I want this.
Do you think this has a chance of being the forever game?
No. No. It says AutoForge is made by the ultra small indie outfit Siege Games, whose first game, Kriya, released in 2016, and you can find AutoForge on Steam for a low $20. For a quick 20, you can get this. This looks like Terraria and Satisfactory, and I dig it. Pretty cool. So, welcome to WarCrafters, folks. That's kind of what we talk about. Games, primarily first-person shooters, simulations, real-time sims, role-playing games. Not tabletop games. That's a different channel. That's
right. Cool. That's Tabletop Nights.
That is Tabletop Nights. So, let's keep going. The next article is over in Reality Hacker. Exocars promises physics-based off-road racing on PC VR next month. If you didn't watch Reality Hacker earlier today, we talked about PC VR supposedly being on the decline, but when you remove a certain demographic, it actually is on the rise. And since you can't verify that particular demographic, it's better actually to remove them from the statistics until you can actually verify the ratio of people that are in VR. Well, people are saying that PC VR is declining. I don't believe so. I think it's never been as popular as it is today, and it's getting more popular. And it's mainly because of various websites and streamers, and now Reality Hacker is stepping into the ring. So be sure to go and check that out over on ohmtown.com. And it's a podcast and it's a YouTube channel within ohmtown. So just go to youtube.com/ohmtown. So created by, I don't know if it's supposed to be Zokus or I don't know, Zokus.
That is not clear.
Exocars sees you drive a customizable buggy for off-road driving, factoring in suspension dynamics, different track surfaces, ramps, obstacles. Zokus Confirmed steering wheel peripherals are also supported. No gameplay footage has been released yet, though you can see some screenshots attached to this post over on uploadvr.com. So there is it's going to be in VR. So you're going to be able to look around and see fellow drivers, fellow racers, and look at the various stats of your vehicle. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, but it's going to take into account a lot of the actual real world physics as much as it can. I think
Right,
this
that
is going
should
to be
distinguish it from some other racing games, right?
Yes. Some racing games get really into it, but they're not off-road games. But like racetrack games, VR particularly, they like to have as much realism as possible. So you do all of the little fiddly bits, trying to dial in your car's performance. But I think this is the first buggy off-road driving one that I've seen that does this. So you'll be factoring in all of the special effects that make your vehicle maybe perform a different way, drift better, handle differently, stick to the ground better, but not be able to do something else better. Zocus expects Exocars to remain in early access for roughly 4 months, explaining in a Steam FAQ that the initial version includes several tracks and asynchronous multiplayer, which I don't know how that works, but anyway, more tracks and street racing mode with new cars and different physics are coming out during the full release, while post-launch content updates are also planned. So good. Get the minimum viable product out, and that would be great. It says global and friends online leaderboards are also promised alongside tournaments with a prize pool, while solo play offers a rally rush mode that involves jumping across landscapes and drifting. Oh look, I even predicted the drifting. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks really neat.
Potty mouths.
Plus, I'm sure with the dune buggies, that might make it a little more exciting.
Yeah, it seems like maybe you'll be able to feel the speed a little bit more while you're in your VR rig. What I really want, and if anybody wants to sponsor this, by the way, sponsors, are you listening? I would love to have a driving rig that I can put right here behind me. Right here. I'll do the streaming. I'll hype the product. I am also looking for a light wall, LED display wall back there, but I haven't asked anybody yet for that. I want to upgrade my display back there. Yeah. Anyway, I guess you can't get if you don't ask. I guess you could spend several $1,000s, but anyway, let's keep on hustling through the articles today. This one's over in Reality Hacker. Everything announced at the III Initiative Showcase. This is all about indie games. Slay the Spire 2 and more. The Rogue Prince of Persia. Maybe it's the Rogue in Prince of Persia. You know what? I'm just going to go over to the source. Thomas Francis is the author. I think that's how you pronounce their name, but Thomas, you can tell me. So Slay the Spire was announced. Eline Media and Humble Games are making Never Alone 2. Darkest Dungeon 2 is getting... it's always depressing when there's only like one more item below the
I know,
floor.
but they seem to do that a lot at Digital Trends.
Yep. I think they have this one thing capped, right? Like 5? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they talked about a bunch of games at the III Initiative. I watched this, but then I got distracted as it was playing, so I didn't get to see all of it. Said over the course of this 45-minute event, developers and publishers such as Darkest Dungeon 2's Red Hook Studios, 33 Immortals, Thunder Lotus, Dead Cells, Evil Empire, and Hyper Light Breakers Heart Machine made announcements about their upcoming games. They have this weird layout about how this is weird formatting. 33 Immortals, Thunder Lotus. Anyway, Slay the Spire 2 was announced. Eline Media and Humble Games are making Never Alone 2. Darkest Dungeon 2 is getting a new game mode called Kingdoms. 33 Immortals is getting a closed beta next month. Prince of Persia is getting a roguelite from Dead Cells Evil Empire. and everything else is listed. So there's video of the original stream, the showcase, on YouTube. So I encourage you to go and take a look at that. But there are videos for all of these. Slay the Spire actually is very popular, although some people kind of go meh about it. Not quite sure why. Let me play a little bit of it. Let me mute it. Largely a cinematic, but they show some of the characters and that it's going into early access in 2025. But I don't know that much about Slay the Spire. At the Triple I Initiative, Megacrit revealed it's making a full-on sequel. While its trailer didn't feature any gameplay, screenshots suggest Slay the Spire 2 won't stray too far from the card-based battles and choice-driven runs of the original Slay the Spire.
Have you played the original Slay the Spire?
No, I have not. I've only watched people play, but I don't really remember much about it. So, making Never Alone 2, we'll play a little bit of that one. Sharing another story. It has this frozen tundra. Looked like it had a space whale kind of a thing, or I don't know, sky whale kind of a thing. Oh, it's a fish of some kind, but it looks like they're like Eskimo, right? Is that the... Let's see. Never Alone 2 will play out in 3D and will once again follow Nuna and her Arctic fox as they go on adventure to save their community. Its developers are working with Inupiat author Nasugrok, Rainey Hobson, and the Cook Inlet Tribal Council to represent Alaskan Native culture in the game correctly.
Wow, that's really neat and refreshing.
That's neat, really neat. And I have this real desire to use AI to forever ensconce native languages, Aboriginal languages, however you want to describe the original people's languages that are getting lost because modern generations don't want to live the lifestyle or are at odds with the culture in that they want to seek X, Y, and Z education or professional career or money or some other life choice than staying local. And it has been ultimately leading to the demise of language. And I think that it would be great to use technology to forever remember and even be able to keep it living within within the data centers of artificial intelligence. You know, if you can learn a little bit, it only takes apparently like 15 seconds worth of audio, and AI can now extrapolate. And I think it would be great to record as much language as possible, and then from there be able to teach other people anywhere around the world.
Absolutely. Like, we have the technology, so we should not lose. Well, and we're at risk of losing these.
Yeah, we watched a video about how some native languages are being lost. I think at the time it was in Canada, right? I'm not sure.
It was.
And
but I forgot the name of the channel.
Yeah, I can find it. But yeah, it's quite fascinating. And there was a YouTuber that went and learned the language and followed the cultural norms for meeting the council for the first time. And it was very impressive. This person is obviously a skilled polyglot capable of picking up languages with relative ease. Wish I had that skill, but anyway, let's get back. The Darkest Dungeon 2 is getting a new game mode called Kingdoms. Darkest Dungeon, actually, we've talked about it a couple of times. Let's go through this. So you basically follow this certain line of decisions, and that progresses the story along. and eventually, like, you may die and have to go back to another starting point. Red Hook Studios, one of the driving forces behind the Triple I initiative, and it showed up with the showcase with the announcement of the new Darkest Dungeon 2 mode called Kingdoms. In this mode, players are fighting to protect an entire kingdom while fending off 3 new enemy factions and acquiring resources to upgrade their heroes and a network of inns that also serve as safe havens. So it says it's a blend of performance and roster management of the original Darkest Dungeon with the traversal and combat of Darkest Dungeon 2. So
at least that's coming in 2024.
Yeah, the other one was 2025. Then 33 Immortals is getting closed beta next month. I've never seen this, but this is what is it called? Cult of the... What do they call it? Cult of the Lamb. It looks very Cult of the Lamb. So it's like a bullet hell kind of a thing. It's very much like Cult of the Lamb. Anyway, looks neat. Says, of course, that means 33 Immortals will rely on online play, and online play needs to be tested to help prep the servers for the full release. Thunder Lotus will hold a closed beta for 33 Immortals between May 24th and June 2nd, and players can sign up now at the 33 Immortals site. Prince of Persia is getting a roguelike from Dead Cells Evil Empire, which basically means that you'll be dying and
walking a lot.
Yeah. So it says Ubisoft to create the Rogue Prince of Persia. As the title suggests, it's a rogue-like take on the franchise created by Jordan Mechner, adding some of the Dead Cells gameplay flair to a colorful rogue-like. Seems like fun. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff. So my time at Sandrock.
Wow. Several things listed.
Yeah. They talk about my time at Sandrock will get cross-platform multiplayer. I think most of this stuff is just expansions into other domains. Endzone 2.
Well, some of these I think are actual new games, not just updates.
Yeah, Undermine 2 is a new one. It's a second iteration of Undermine. Wabi Sabi Games announced RKGK, a new action platformer where all the gameplay systems are centered around or themed around graffiti. That'll be interesting. Most of these things I think I'm going to end up watching and not playing, though. Tachia will come to Nintendo Switch on June 27th. V-Rising Castlevania crossover and a new trailer. That'll be interesting. Yep, there's a lot more over there, folks, so go check it out. The next article, and this is the one that I'm most looking forward to. I love these Vampire Survivor games. Basically, you run around on an isometric map and eliminate the enemy to gather resources to do some function, get off the map, or move on to something else, build a more powerful base, build a more powerful you. But League of Legends is getting a Vampire Survivor style PvE, so player versus environment mode later this year. Bullet Heaven Games are essentially the reverse of Bullet Hells. Instead of trying to dodge endless, nay, impenetrable waves of enemy projectiles, you are the source of those projectiles, using them to mow down endless, nay, impenetrable waves of enemies. The author says, I'm pretty sure Vampire Survivors wasn't the first of the type, but it was definitely the one that dragged it to prominence, inspiring all sorts of imitators, including later this year, a League of Legends version of it.
Wow, that's a little bit of a inflammatory statement, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when you think of Vampire Survivors, if you look at a game like this, like I don't think you have seen it, Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. So they don't hint at being something other than Vampire Survivors in a different jacket. They lean into it.
Okay.
And so
I've seen Vampire Survivors, but I don't know how many replicas I've seen.
yeah, so there's a lot of them out there now because they're deemed as relatively simple to put together. But Vampire Survivors and other games like it, many of them have a deeper storyline and deeper processes. Like at first blush, Vampire Survivors was really simple, but you had to do certain things to unlock certain things, to do certain things, to move through the progression of the game. I really like it, but I can't dedicate enough time to any one thing. League of Legends, though, has this massive world building. So I think that if they stick to high resolution graphics and the storyline is there and all of the character development and world building is there, this is going to be a rock star game. So it says, after months of work, it's time to let y'all know that we are currently working on our first Bullet Heaven Survivor player versus environment game mode. League of Legends developer Selena Liu said in an update that was posted. I don't think that they have any graphics. A little different take on League's core gameplay, but a bit more chill compared to Arena. Yeah, if this is it. I don't know if this is it. Yeah, it looks like Vampire Survivors to me. And it does. It actually doesn't look all that great. Like the graphics
Well,
just
that's
look
kind of surprising, given I'm sure there's lots of resources behind this, given which game this is.
Please don't let it be like this. The graphics looks just so meh. So I don't know. I'll have to wait for it to actually be released. But apparently wow, I went into this hyped and just got let down by that single screenshot. I don't know. We'll have to see. Andy Chalk over at PCGamer.com put the article together. The deck statement says the upcoming Bullet Heaven mode will support both solo and co-op play, which is great if the graphics and the story are great. But I think this is... Oh, that screenshot really was a letdown to me. All right. Well, I won't let it hold me back. Let's keep going if you don't mind.
No.
The next article... Oh, please, Google, don't crash. So, yeah. Like, I think it's patching Chrome right now as I'm... Anyway, the next article's over in WarCrafters. We'll soon be able to watch Commander Riker play D&D alongside the other Trek actors, and it's all for charity. Todd Stashwick and other celebrities are teaming up to play D&D in a charity live stream, which will be on Twitch. So even if you weren't lucky enough to snag a seat at the table, you'll still be able to enjoy all the hilarious hijinks from afar. So I'm in a hurry to see where this is, because if it's tonight, I'm going to be disappointed. You'll soon be able to watch. So it's over. The article is over at PCGamer.com. Ellie Gould is the author. The deck statement says, "Live long and prosper." The live stream is in support of the Pavlov Foundation, a charitable organization that invests in underfunded pediatric cancer research and tries to improve the lives of children living with cancer. All of the net proceeds from the D&D live stream will go to this charity. So a bunch of people from Star Trek are going to be in there. You might as well just say everybody. Star Trek, Captain Liam Shaw from Star Trek Picard as the dungeon master for the session. And there's also Jonathan Frakes, who portrayed William Riker. The Next Generation, Deborah Ann Wall, who starred as Daredevil as Karen Page. Michelle Hurd, who played Rafi Musiker in Star Trek Picard. Will Wheaton, best known for portraying Wesley Crusher in Star Trek The Next Generation. If there's D&D and Star Trek is involved, Will Wheaton's involved. So when is it?
Oh, April 20th.
Sunday, April 20th? But it also says on Sunday, April 21st. What is that? Saturday, April 20th.
It's because of the time zone difference. So it's on Saturday for East Coast.
Yeah. So 8 p.m. Saturday, April 20th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. BST.
I think that's British.
Like British Standard Time?
Maybe. Possibly,
I'm not sure.
yeah.
And which is Sunday, April 21st. So all you have to do is check it out in a mini Turing domain Twitch channel and search for Legends of Elon. What? How do you pronounce that? Eleonora?
Eleonora?
Yeah, Eleonora Zephyr against the Mist. Dun dun dun. I don't remember that, but that's okay. I haven't been playing D&D a lot for many moons now. I actually like Pathfinder. Not picking a fight with anybody. Okay, let's keep on going.
I don't know, those are fighting words.
And depending... Oh, wait. On the 20th? Yeah, unfortunately, I have mayoral duties. That'll probably keep me from doing that. Maybe. I might have to... Maybe I'll do the stream early.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going, though. The next article is over on the WarCrafters channel. Intel Battlemage reportedly headed our way before Black Friday. Intel Battlemage will be the second modern generation of graphics cards out of Intel and likely to arrive before the end of the year. But when exactly? Only Intel knows for sure. But new industry info points to a release date sometime before Black Friday. For non-Americans, the Battlemage launch is alleged to be sometime before November 29th. That's funny. So Jacob Ridley over at PC Gamer put the article together that sometime before November 29th for non-Americans or reluctant capitalists. So I guess it's the new iteration of the ARC graphics. Computer Base reports the Battlemage will turn up before Black Friday, citing industry circles at Embedded World 2024. The Battlemage architecture will be used across desktop graphics cards of the grade we could be interested in for a spot of PC gaming, which puts it more higher on their list of things I'm interested in from Embedded World 2024. They have an odd writing style. So it says, Intel confirmed that Battlemage is up and running in its labs earlier this year. That means the actual silicon is working. But whether the actual graphics cards are ready yet is another thing entirely. That relies on Intel's own product line production. Intel produced the first wave of ARC A750 and 770 limited edition cards itself and its partners, which generally produce all of the ARC cards available today. Intel only managed to convince a few manufacturers to jump on ARC early, and is likely hoping to win over a few more with Battlemage. Look, if it doesn't compete with the RTX 30 or better, I don't see it being able to do anything. So it says, most important person Intel has to win over with Battlemage is you. Alchemist was shaky at launch, got a bit better with time, and ended up briefly as a half-decent budget graphics card with a whole lot of VRAM for the money. Nowadays, however, it struggles to compete with AMD's more recent RX 7600. Battlemage will have to do better. Yeah. Although it's cheaper. What's up?
Well, I mean, do we know really what's going to happen here?
Nope. But can you imagine? Black Friday comes out. They release this card for Black Friday, but there's no stats on it. There's no performance, anything. If everything is based off of the 770 line, then they're done before they even got out of the gate. Yeah. So I would love more competition. But if it doesn't actually compete, then it's not...
Or it's not perceived to compete.
Right. Even if it is superior, yeah. But in all of these cases, the drivers drive the adoption as well. So if it's borderline and less expensive, then people will adopt it. But if the driver package sucks and ruins the gaming experience, then nobody's going to want to buy these things either. So it had better not set a PC on fire, and it better not degrade frames per second, and it better not be a pain in the ass. Because I see one of those things happening when you get into high-end cards. we'll see what happens. Want to keep going?
Sure.
So the next article is over in WarCrafters, Star Wars Outlaws. It's a new game that's being released. The 70
Look
base.
at the pricing.
The basic game is $70. These two editions are okay, let me just read the title. Star Wars Outlaws $110 and $130 editions prompt a collective sigh from potential buyers tired of season passes and ill-advised early access periods. Now, I've done this twice. Actually, I've paid more for other games. I mean, I've paid, believe me. And I am so tired of expensive games, particularly ones that are going to require me to be online. And then if their servers die, then everything else is dead, like the crew, and stopkillinggames.com. I'm just tired of all of this. So they say, the author here from PC Gamer says, I'm generally excited for Star Wars Outlaws, especially since the trailer debuted earlier this week. It might not set the world on fire or anything, but they like their blasters, they like their freaky aliens, and I like making ticks in an open world checklist. I'm not above the Ubisoft game loop. Go do this, go do that, go do this, go do that. I am, however, exhausted by collector's editions that toss a few skins and items into the game for another batch of credits, and I'm not exactly alone. Anytime I see charts like this, it just makes me think I can't wait to buy the full game at $20. So the article is by Harvey Randall over at PCGamer.com, and there's Pizza the Hut. It's Jabba the Hutt, but the deck statement says, I've got a bad feeling about this. And yeah, this is not the first article that I've read. Well, it is the first article that I've read. It's not the first time that I've heard people say that they're tired of this. The response isn't exactly glowing on Reddit either. In the critique-focused and aptly named Star Wars subreddit, saltier than crate. One commenter writes, if people choose to make what seems like an unwise purchase, go ahead and good luck, but I'll happily hold off. It's not faring great elsewhere either. Somebody says, Jesus Christ, that's $176 Canadian. That's more than any collector's edition I've ever seen, but usually that would come with some giant statue of a character. Yeah, this doesn't even come with anything. It says, personally, I'm stricken with more malaise than anger, but for fairness' sake, let's do a quick rundown of what you get if you shuck out 40 to 60 extra bucks on these things.
Do you think this is the way of things to come? Like, I mean, this seems like it's breaking into new territory with pricing.
Prices have gone up in the last 2 years. A game that used to be $50 became $60. Now it's $70. Early access used to be at like $90 or $75 when the game was $50 or $60. Now it is extraordinarily high, at least in my perception. So it says the gold edition of Star Wars Outlaws gets you 3 days of early access, and that's the real like annoying thing of this is 3 days of early access. I actually have paid for this in the past, and I regret it every time, mainly because I don't have 3 days of early access to access it in early access. I've got mayoral duties to do.
You get late access to the early access?
Yeah, and then and like one thing, to get the item, I had to hit a certain level, and I was so busy that I couldn't get that certain level, which prevented me from ever getting that special item. Even though I paid extra to get access early, I was working so much that I couldn't do it. So yeah, real pisser. Anyway, it says that you get 3 days early access, ship and speeder cosmetics, and access to the season pass. That's 2 DLCs that will release after launch. Plus a single mission that's exclusive to it for some baffling reason. upgrade to Ultimate, and you get even more cosmetics and a digital art book, not even a real world art book. So yeah, 2 DLCs of unannounced size and a PDF. That PDF probably filled with gorgeous art that someone worked very hard on. And I don't want to discount that, but you know, it's a file, and $60 is $60. Yeah. Even the gold edition, that's about $20 a pop for DLC. That's a smidge cheaper than, say, Assassin's Creed Valhalla's Dawn of Ragnarok, which has a base price of $40. So you see what I'm saying? It used to be
not even
reasonable.
in the same ballpark.
Yeah, but you can't have, you know, millionaires investing money without a little bit of greed going in there. So it says it'll be lovely if Outlaw runs like a dream when it comes out, and I'm sure that the devs will have tried their level best to make that happen. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's ridiculous. I won't be buying it, but I like watching people play Star Wars games more than playing it myself. I don't like playing with myself. What?
So to the next article.
So the next article is over in Reality Hacker. Among Us VR adds infection event in new limited time mode. Marking the latest free Among Us VR update, Shell Games announced the infection event that splits you into 2 teams. Chefs are basically crewmates who must complete 10 tasks to win, while Zomburitos must infect chefs and turn them into Zomburitos. This occurs in a new mess hall map, which adapts Pola's Point by adding new areas like the kitchen. So I own Among Us VR, and I have yet to actually play it. Mainly because I have to play the game with a bunch of people. Henry Stockdale is the author of this article over at uploadvr.com. Ta-da! And the thing about the reason why I bought this Among Us VR is because I dig the game Among Us, but I don't really play it. And I love VR, and I wanted to support another VR game. So Among Us VR got my money. Looks like fun. Don't know if I would have the... Like in normal Among Us, it's top-down view, and you have like a fog of war around you. So you only see what you can see, not the whole map. Right?
Oh, right. Yes. But this is going to be, of course, a different view.
Yeah. And so your situational awareness, you could be running down a hallway for 30 minutes and somebody's trying to kill you behind you.
But you don't know it.
But you don't know it.
In the original. Yeah.
I mean, in Among Us VR.
Oh, I was thinking you wouldn't know. Well, depending on where the corners were and everything in the other one, but I got it.
So like in Among Us VR, it's top-down view. And so there's like a space like this where your vision can see in all directions.
Okay.
But in Among Us VR, you are first person. And so you could be sitting there going about your day.
And you can't see what's behind you.
Yeah, you have to look, you have to throw an eye back there like, hey. So that's one of the most fun things about this. But then they're going to do this little infection event where you have to do certain tasks, and then there's a Zomburito that's coming to eat your face. And hopefully you don't get caught. Hi, bye. Oh, vented. Yeah, this looks like fun. So infection marks the second limited time event that they've seen in Among Us VR. Back in February, Shell Games introduced a month-long lights out mode that lets all crewmates become engineers. Visibility would increase depending on how many tasks engineers completed. No imposters could decrease this by eliminating crewmates or using sabotage.
So will you be able to be the imposter in VR? Or
yeah.
Is it only other? So it'll be similar to the original.
Yeah, there's always a them versus us dynamic. So yeah, you get to run around and eliminate people. It's easier that way. You can just run around and eliminate people, but they can eliminate you too. Okay, let's keep going. That's fun. I want to play that now. Come on, VR. get more popular so that there's a lot more people playing. All right. The next article's over in WarCrafters. I've already thrown it into the chat. Steam is about to have a big sale on shooters of the first-person variety, which is right perfect for WarCrafters. In WarCrafters, the name goes a little bit further than first-person shooters, real-time sims, and RPGs. It also goes into survival, base building, crafting games, hence WarCrafters. It's more than crafting war. But third-person shooters, you can keep them, unless you have the option to also be played in first-person, in which case, the author says, I guess they might be included in the Steam FPS Fest. A sale on games of the Doom clone variety that will be kicking off April 15th, so Monday. It's tax day. Folks, hopefully in the US.
If you're not happy with your taxes, you can
lose yourself in the game.
Exactly. And if you are happy, then maybe you'll have some extra money to spend on your games.
Some of the games due to be discontinued, I'm a dumbass. Some of the games to be discounted during the sale include Squad, RoboCop Rogue City, Trepang 2, Rust, Verdun, Ravenfield, Killbug, Far Cry 6. It's a pretty wide selection, including recent hits and remakes, as well as a few classics of the genre. Even depth. So, Jody McGregor over at PC Gamer put the article together. The Steam FPS Fest begins next week. Maybe I shouldn't have purchased that game I just got. Daggone it. We'll see. What else is in here? If you're interested in some recommendation, they have a list of the best FPS games on PC, which includes several games that have already been teased for the sale, like System Shock, Ultra Kill, Neon White, Black Mesa. The list also includes Borderlands 2, which the author says they consider to be one of the genre's untouchable peaks and will not be convinced otherwise. So there you go, folks. The Steam FPS Fest will run from April 15th until April 22nd at 10 a.m. Pacific. The odds of there being some kind of free gun-themed stickers, profile frames, emojis, or the like given away during the sale are high because this is Steam we're talking about. They track a lot of stuff, by the way, Steam. I didn't even realize that they track stuff, demographics and psychographics.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's go to our last article for today. I chose this simply because of Echoes of Elysium being announced. So, developer and publisher Loric Games announced Echoes of Elysium. The game is currently confirmed to be in development for PC and can be wishlisted on Steam. A release window hasn't been announced yet. Echoes of Elysium takes place in Elysium, the heavens of the mythical ancient Greece, located in the clouds and made of several floating islands. The player assumes the role of a hero guided by the goddess Lethe, and entrusted with the fate of the world. The game is an open-world survival RPG featuring solo and multiplayer gameplay with airship building as one of the primary aspects. So, ding! I'm interested. If that's the type of graphics that I'm going to be playing with, ding! I'm really into it.
It's a winner.
Yeah. So the ships built by the player can be upgraded and serve to explore Elysium as well as to gather resources. The player-selected protagonist is also able to level up, acquire new skills, and craft their own equipment. I'm all over this. If this is what the graphics look like in-game, I'm going to love this. Could this be a forever game?
Looks like it has the potential.
They have a trailer. I'm going to hit play. I'm just going to fast forward to look at some of this. Okay, that's a cinematic. That's not in gameplay. They're not playing. They're not doing any in-game play, I don't think. Oh. Okay, well, based on the pictures that I see, looks like it's going to be great to play. but we'll
So is
see.
this the first? I think I recognize this studio. Have they put something else out that's a hit?
No, just Echoes of Elysium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I've added it to my wish list. Dun dun dun. And let me make sure. Yeah, this is the only thing that they've come up with. That name does sound familiar, though. I want to see
Yeah,
something
I
here.
feel like we've mentioned it.
It might be because of Disco Elysium, which we've actually discussed a couple of times because of its history. It became
Okay.
very conflicted with the studio. I don't know if the studio shut down or what.
Okay, yeah. Then that's the one I guess I was thinking of.
Yeah. And that actually gave some of the impetus to choose this. Because, like all of our shows, we don't read the articles in total before we read the article during the show. We actually only base it off of this. And yeah, I don't know how to. I knew that Lore Games wasn't the same, but anyway, I wanted to see what this was all about because I like the whole Greek mythology, and if it's a RPG and base builder and crafting, this actually hits all of the cylinders. So pretty nice. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't have a release date, so it just says coming soon.
Right.
We'll
Well, that could be 2026, but
or
hopefully
not.
it'll be
Like never.
just around the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's true.
All right, folks, that is it for the 4th episode of WarCrafters. So thank you very much for coming. We always go back to the front page and then we refresh. Looks like we got some more stuff. Not everything is being aggregated. Like, I need to go through and make sure that what should be getting aggregated in here is because we have some tech stuff, but that's not really what this channel is all about. But sometimes we end up talking about it because it has something tangentially associated with the news that we're talking about. So anyway, that's it for today. Thank you very much for coming. Be sure to go over to YouTube and like and subscribe and follow us there, and follow us here on twitch.tv/ohmtown, and go over and download the podcast. There's a Patreon, there's a Discord. We got a little
TikTok,
of everything. Oh yeah, the
YouTube.
TikTok. Yeah. I said YouTube. Didn't I?
Oh, I missed that one. I don't know.
I don't know. That's okay. Anyway, thanks for coming. I'm Mayor Watt, and all around me is the sentient AI from the future. I can't get away.
Good night, hometown citizens. Be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. We have 4 more shows for you.
Yep. And maybe I won't soapbox as much. Nah, that's a lie. I'm gonna soapbox.